Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new episode of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host, King Twan speaking. Tonight, I want to talk about a question that was asked in an earlier prompt, I think WordPress daily prompt, and it was, how much would I pay to go to the moon? Now, that's an interesting question. Would I want to go to the moon? Why should I go to the moon? And why would anybody want to go to the moon? We've already been to the moon back in 1969 when Neil Armstrong landed on it, and he declared one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Mankind, I apologize. Now, what's the point of going to the moon? What is on the moon but holes? Do we have to go to the moon? Are we going to make a new homeland on the moon? Are we going to discover anything like life, water, or anything else? Plant life? Well, I don't think it's going to be plant life because you can't really go there and plant anything because it's so cold in a sense. It's like Pluto, the nearest, farthest planet in the solar system, because it's very cold over there. And this podcast, it's more of a question, more of a podcast, but you can call it both because that's what it is. Well, would I go to the moon and how much would I pay? I don't know. How much would I pay to go to the moon? I don't know. I mean, going to space is enough as it is. You most likely have to pay to go there. But I don't know. Does it cost 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000? Who knows? Got to have the calculations, or even not the calculations, just got to have the money to go there. So, I apologize for clearing my throat. Just got through eating some pizza and it was so good. But anyway, how much would I go to pay to the moon? How much would I pay to go to the moon? Well, I don't know. It depends. Is there anything on the moon that I need to see? Is there anything that I need to get to understand? Any life form or whatever? No. In all honesty, I don't think so. I mean, there's no Martians or aliens on the moon, because Martians, when you think of Martians, you think of Mars. That's one of our planets of the solar system. And aliens, I don't think there's any alien life forms out there, not on the moon. And the old saying that the moon is made of Swiss cheese, that was just no joke from back in the day somebody made, because the way it looked, because it has a whole lot of holes in it when looking up through a telescope. But when if you're actually approaching it, there's a lot of craters there. That's what those holes are in the moon. They're called craters. So hopefully if you land on the moon, or if I ever land on the moon, hopefully I won't fall through the crater or get stuck in whatever. Now, if I go to the moon, if I ever found myself going to the moon, I know damn good and well I'm going to find some way back. I know that, because there's nothing on the moon that you can start or build. We're already happy here on Earth. Yes, Earth has its problems, but at the end of the day, noon or night, I wouldn't trade Earth in for anything in the world. Who knows? Maybe I will go to the moon. Maybe I will visit and see what it's like, explore. That's something to do research on. What's on the moon? How does the moon affect the other planets? How does it affect not just those other planets, but Earth as a whole? We got quarter moons, half moons, full moons, new moons, all types of moons. Those different moons right there. Now, as far as paying for it, I don't know if I pay a whole amount of money to get on the moon, because it better be worth it, because I wouldn't dare spend that type of money or any kind of money to go somewhere and there's nothing there. There's no life form. Sorry for clearing my throat. But as I was saying, this is a question that was asked in the form of a daily prompt, but it's still in the form of a podcast. So this is a podcast show, the Right Info Podcast Show. And feel free to voice an opinion or whatever, what you think, how much you pay to go on the moon, or is there anything on the moon you would love to see? And with that being said, this is just a small little daily prompt podcast question that I'm answering, and this is the end of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host King Twan speaking, and I will hopefully speak to you again. Well, not hopefully, but I know I will speak to the audience again. So you all take care and have a good night and enjoy your week. Thank you. Bye-bye.